Good afternoon, class of 2025, faculty, family members, and friends. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate this milestone with all of us. It is an incredible honor to stand before you today as a proud graduate of Touro University Worldwide. TUW didn't just educate us, they empower us by providing the tools, the knowledge, and confidence to turn our ambitions into action. And for that, I'm forever grateful. If you have told the little girl growing up in Ponce, Puerto Rico, that one day she'll be standing on this stage giving a valedictorian speech at her doctoral graduation, and in English, she probably would have smiled and said, "Yeah, right," and gone right back to climbing mango trees and chasing lizards in the backyard. Because that girl didn't know any English. She wasn't at the top of her class. She didn't grow up with a lot of resources. But she didn't have a clear roadmap for life. But she did have a fearless heart and big dreams, like many people in this room. I am that girl, the first in my family to reach this level of education. You see, my mother dropped out of high school at 16 when she married my dad. My father had a high school diploma. They both worked really hard their entire life to provide for us. Our home was very modest, had no water or electricity for a few years. But that home was always full of love. There were no college tours or legacy admissions in our story. All we had was grit, faith, and an unwavering belief that everything was possible. The same grit that gave my mother the courage to return to school at age 40 and earn her GED and a bachelor's degree in education. I'm very proud of her. But today, I'm not standing here for myself. I'm standing here for anyone who has faced challenges in life, but refused to quit. For those who paused their dreams to raise families. For those who returned to school even though the odds were stacked against them. I'm standing here for those who have been underestimated because they came from humble beginnings and were never expected to reach such heights. When I was young, my mother always told me, growing up with less doesn't mean that your dreams have to be any smaller. My parents taught me that your circumstances don't define your future, but your choices do. They always instilled in me the importance of getting an education, but I was hard-headed. And I didn't get my first degree until much later in life. For starters, I was drawn to service. I dreamed of joining the military, and I finally did. And for 23 years, I proudly wore the United States Air Force uniform. It was there where I found discipline, leadership, courage, and perhaps most importantly, I found purpose. My experiences taught me that life doesn't owe us anything. If we want something, you have to work for it, you have to fight for it, and sometimes you have to push through exhaustion, setbacks, and a lot of self-doubt. When I retired from the military in 2019, I feel proud of what I had accomplished and decided now it was time to pursue my doctoral degree. But even with all that experience behind me, when I got accepted into the doctoral program at TUW, guess what showed up at my door? It was fear. That imposter syndrome came knocking at my door. I'm not talking about the fear that jumps at you when you're watching a scary movie. I'm talking about the quiet fear that whispers in your ear, "Are you sure you're good enough?" The kind of fear that says, "It's not too late to back out." But I refuse to give in to that fear. Because here's the thing. Fear doesn't disappear when you ignore it. On the contrary, it grows. The only way to overcome fear is to face it head on. One article at a time, one discussion thread at a time, one case study and signature assignment at a time. And I know I wasn't alone. Each of you face your own fears. You sacrifice time with your families. You push through long nights and struggle to balance other responsibilities. Yet, here you are. That's the kind of strength that brought us to this moment. When I was challenged, I reminded myself 2 lessons I learned growing up. 1, where you come from doesn't define where you're going. And 2, success is always on the other side of fear. Those lessons carry me through every challenge, even through the painful final research project and oral presentation in the doctoral program, or what I personally like to call an academic endurance training. I'm pretty sure I cried once or twice during the process. Quitting crossed my mind a few times, and I questioned if I had what it took to get to the finish line. And the answer was always yes. I know many of you asked yourself the same question, and you chose to believe you could finish. Graduates, you should be very proud of yourselves. What you accomplished is no small task. As you continue to step into this world, whether chasing a new job, a promotion, or a career change, if fear shows up at your door, kick it out. Remember that you are ready. You are capable. This is your moment. Own it. There's no limit to what you can achieve when you choose to bet on yourself. Now, the real question is, what comes next? Harvey Mackey once said, "A great accomplishment shouldn't be the end of the road, just the starting point for the next leap forward." So today isn't the finish line for us. It is the launching pad for your next incredible journey. So dream bigger, reach higher, and keep moving forward with courage and purpose. And as you rise, remember to honor this moment. By using your education and your experience, not only to elevate yourself, but to uplift others and lead with integrity and make a difference. To my husband and children, thank you for your love, support, and sacrifices. To my mother and late father, you didn't have the opportunities I have today, but you gave me the foundation to build upon this educational dream. To TUW, thank you. To the faculty, advisors, and staff, your dedication, encouragement, and commitment to excellence helped shape the scholars and leaders sitting here today. You challenged us, supported us, and believed in us, even from miles away. A special thanks to Dr. Epstein. He doesn't know this. But our last conversation inspired me to turn my research into my first book on military leadership. Your belief and support made a difference. TUW faculty, this diploma bears our name. But it was your guidance and wisdom that have shaped the journey that brought us here. And finally, to that little girl from Puerto Rico, and my fellow graduates, I want to say, we've made it. Thank you and congratulations to all of you.